Hi, I'm Adam Lewis with DeerIQ.com and the Deer IQ podcast. And in this video, we're going to look at 9 springtime habits of the best whitetail hunters. So you may not deer hunt all year long or consider yourself one of those hunters that are 365 a year for deer hunting, but if you look at the better deer hunters, they really treat it as a year-long pursuit, and they're always doing something regardless of the time of year. So these are 9 things I'm going to look at that I've noticed other hunters doing, that I do myself, that really increases your success in the fall, because as they say, it's not how you play, it's how you practice. Or really what you mean is that you can only play like you practice. So the more prep work you do in the off season, the better your success will be during season. Okay, and I left number 9 off. You'll have to hang around and see what that one actually is. And these are in no particular order. So let's get into it. Number 1 is gear prep. Now, better hunters don't get into fads. There's a lot of fads out there, and you really have to be careful. You're not just following what the masses are doing, but that it's actually helping you. And so springtime is a great time of year to really look at all your gear and assess if it's working for you, how well it's working for you, being honest about that, tweaking things to your systems to make them better, and really analyzing, is this something I need to be taking with me or using or not? And it's a time to really refine those systems and get rid of stuff that you don't really need. Okay, number 2 is looking at new gear. Now that you've kind of refined your system and looked at what's working and what isn't, you can see if you actually need some new stuff. Again, not chasing fads, but what could actually help me and increase my chance of success on deer in the fall. So what have you actually identified from your past season, your experiences, and your analysis of your gear, and maybe some holes that are in there, and how can you fill those to become a better hunter with potentially adding new and helpful gear. Okay, number 3, this is a great time of year to scout. And it's a great time of year because all the foliage is off. You can see very easily trails, scrapes, obviously rubs from last season. You see all last season's sign all laid out for you. And it's a great time to put the pieces together, gather more intel that actually will help you for the next year. Now there's a difference between fresh sign, which you'd hunt in the season, and this historical sign that you're gathering now in the spring. And that's a big difference and one to take note of. But this historic sign, like what they did last year, many times is similar to what deer will do this year, even if it's not the same deer. Even if that buck, let's say, got shot, deer will use the land in similar manners, and knowing that is very, very important, and you can use that. But having this historic data that you gathered in the spring really does help you in the fall. It really helps you put the pieces together, and with that fresh sign can really up your game and help you be more successful.
Found him through tracking. He didn't go far.
Okay, number 4 is new spots. This is a good time of year to check out and acquire new spots. These could be private and they could be public. It's a good time in private land to just make acquaintances, maybe knock on some doors, see about, doing some rabbit hunting or something that's an easier ask than, hey, can I deer hunt on your property? So you can do that kind of stuff in the spring, and it gives them time to kind of get to know you and work that relationship. It's also a great time to check out new public land spots. It's low impact. You're just checking spots out. It's so far from season that you can really invade bedding areas. You can see areas maybe that you couldn't in season. And then again, you're checking out new areas to even see if, hey, should I focus on this and maybe check this out this coming year? So this is a great low impact time to just check out some of those new spots on public land, explore some stuff, have some fun. But again, gather that intel and data and say, hey, I might want to add this to my list for next fall. Number 5 is turkey hunting. Now, this might not be in everybody's list, but I think it's an important one. Anytime you can get in the woods in a similar manner and practice your hunting skills is going to increase those and help you for deer hunting. And turkey hunting is one of those, for me, you're just practicing woodsmanship skills. Now, turkey can't smell very good. Okay, they're different, right? But they can see really good. And I do a lot of stalking of turkey. I like to do spot and stalk and those type of things. And it really does help you become a better hunter, learn how to move in the woods, read sign, all these things, you're honing your skills. And so turkey hunting is actually really good, I think, for deer hunting and just becoming a better woodsman, which translates into becoming a better whitetail hunter and will help you come fall when you get in the woods, just be a better and more natural hunter. Okay, I like this episode so far. If you do, I invite you to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our other good videos. And we also have a podcast that you can check out also on this channel and wherever you listen to podcasts, the Deer IQ Podcast. And we go into a curriculum where we dive deep into certain topics and scenarios of how to be a better hunter. So check that out. Also, do you know your deer IQ? Do you think you're deer smart? Well, we have a deer IQ test where you can find out. So that's linked below. You can click on that and take it. And while you're at it, share it with a buddy and see what he scores and compare it to yours. Okay, back to number 6. Number 6 is shoot. Actually start shooting your weapon. And mostly I'm talking a bow here. And this is something that guys a lot of time forget until like the month before season. And that muscle memory is really important to just keep going, right? I think back to basketball when I used to play basketball, and that's a muscle memory thing too. And if you stop for a while, you start getting rusty. You start hitting the rim, you start missing here and there. But if you continue to keep it up day after day, that muscle memory is just more honed. It's more exact. And you want to do that with shooting your bow too. And so this is a time just to start picking that up, maybe a few days a week. And I would focus on quality, not quantity, really making sure your form is good, doing this in increasingly field-like conditions where you're under duress is real important. But starting that now really helps you prepare for the moment of truth. So again, when you're pulling back on a deer and the adrenaline's pumping, it's just muscle memory. You're not thinking about it, and that's when you get in trouble, when you're thinking about it. So start shooting now, maybe do some 3D courses, but at least in the spring, get that going and really practice your good form, so fall, it's a lot easier. 7, new setups. So you've checked out your gear, maybe you have a new setup, now you need to practice it. You don't want to be practicing that, the first time you go out hunting or a few weeks before season. Let's say you got a new saddle, you got some new sticks or something that's real popular now, right? You need to know the ins and outs of that and be fluid with that and be so prepared with that you don't have to think about using it. It has to be super easy for you. You have to know the order in which you do things, order in which you put things in your backpack, and being able to do that in the dark. And so you need to practice that multiple times in the spring as it leads up into summer, and really being prepped with your gear. The good hunters don't make mistakes. You just can't afford to. And so knowing your gear in and out, having practice with that multiple times in the spring and summer is what you have to do to really be ready. And that's gonna make you a quicker, quieter, and better hunter. 8, property prep. So if you own property or can actually manipulate property, spring, you obviously have to be doing that. Don't get caught in the summer wishing you'd have done something. So maybe you're adding some screening. Do you need to change stand locations? Do you need to trim things here and there for better shooting lanes, or just tweaks on your property, or even full out moving of stands or manipulating how deer move? Those are all projects right now, and some of those can be huge projects. Some of them can be real minor, but those are things to really look at now. Now's the time to do those. So come fall, it's all done and ready. Okay, and number 9. Okay, number 9 is shed hunting, and some of you probably thought I was going to overlook that. Some people really love shed hunting, and I get it. I've never got into it that much, probably because I'm in Michigan, and I'm just going to find these little, small racks most of the time. But that can be a great time to do a lot of these other things, and I look at it more as scouting and finding new spots. Like that would probably be the goal, and I do a lot of that in the spring. And it can give you intel about certain bucks. Now, a word of caution here as you look for the white gold is if you find some sheds of a buck, don't necessarily assume that's where he's going to be in the fall, like the start of season. That's where he dropped them in the winter. So keep that in mind, but it can be a real good piece of the puzzle. So put those pieces together, make a buck profile of that deer based on this and many other things as well. These are all great things, guys, to try in the spring to really help you become a better hunter in the fall. Okay, those are my 9. Did I miss any? Do you disagree or agree strongly? Put it in the comments below. I'm curious to know what you think. And if you've gotten this far, make sure to click like and subscribe and that little bell button so you don't miss any of our new videos. And I'll see you on the next Deer IQ High IQ Topics video.